Hello, welcome to my craft room. My name's Tina. This is Cyprian Stitches. I think moving forward this year we will go for a Sunday lunchtime podcast for this channel. That seems like something that I think would work for me, and I hope it works for you as well. Obviously you can watch anytime you like. So what have I been up to since the last time we spoke? Well, there's been a lot of Whitmoors going on. So I am wearing my Whitmoor cardigan that I finished a few months ago, and I'm really enjoying this actually. I've started wearing it buttoned up. I don't usually wear cardigans buttoned up. I usually go for a top button and then leave them open. But I've been really enjoying having this buttoned all the way down. The fit is really good, sort of with the hips and everything. I've got plenty of room, so it's really working for me, that sort of style. So I'm really enjoying it. So moving forward onto the sweater version, I've got quite far down, but I'm going to take a break for now because I don't know what length. I never go for the proper length. My cardigan, this yarn just went on and on and on, so I just kept on knitting because I like a bit of extra length when I'm wearing jeans and things. And so I'm going to do the same with this one. So I've got to that far, and I'm going to pick up these stitches that are on waste yarn for the sleeves and do the sleeves, and then see what yarn I've got to what length. I think I'm going to be fine. I've got on here, I've got 6 more balls here, and it's the drop sleemer, which is an alpaca, 65% wool and 35% alpaca. Oops. So that is the yarn I'm using. Really loving using this one. It's the first time I've used it, so it feels lovely to knit with. Obviously I don't know yet about washing and caring that way. Time will tell for that, we shall see. So yeah, really enjoying this. This has been my evening TV knitting basically, just because it is just knitting round and round straight. And so it's lovely and soft, feels good in the hands. It's a DK weight, which means it's nice and easy to see, especially the white in the evening. So yeah, it's a lovely project to do, and I'm really pleased with how it's looking. I mean, I knew the lace was going to be lovely because I've knit the cardigan, but it looks different in the different colour, doesn't it? That's the thing, that you think you know how something looks, and then it has a different look in a different colour. So that's how far I've got with my Whitmoor sweater. That's by Amy Loudon, that one, if you didn't know. The next one I've been knitting on is my shawl, and this is the Stephen West Aurora cabin shawl. It's for the current knit along. I'll wear it. Oh, yarn going everywhere. So a funny thing happened on the way to the craft room earlier. So I was collecting all my things, and this was downstairs, so I collected this from downstairs. And when I put it onto my little table, I saw that there was some of this red yarn heading out of the door. So I followed the trail of yarn, and I followed it. That door goes to our bedroom, so I went through the bedroom, across the hallway, down the stairs, and it was at the bottom of the stairs. So that's why it's got so much ravelled round the centre of it, because we had fun and games on the way to the craft room. So, there it goes again. Right. So I've done this main decorative section here. I've finished that part, and then I've gone down to the stripes. So I think I'm halfway through the stripes now. Really loving how those colours are. I've said before that this colour is different. I thought it's more yellow when I actually ordered it online. Because I was going by the colours of the warm cabin shawl. Is it the cosy cabin shawl colours that Stephen picked out? So I was trying to base it on that, going with the colours that were in the Drops Alpaca. So this is called the Drops Alpaca. It's 4-ply and it's just 100% alpaca. So from going by those colours, this one, it's called Lemon Pie, I believe. It's more like a lime pie. I never would have picked this. It's not the sort of colour I like, but together with all the other colours, because there's 5 in total, I'm really liking how it's coming out, and I really like how it looks with that red, because that red is my colour. So yeah. So after this stripes, I've got another one of these sections now. I was watching Amanda from Mouse's Makes, and hello Amanda, and she's put me to shame. And so whereas I said last time that, because I've been cutting off my ends and I'm going to sew them in, I am going to sew them in, because this was so new to me. We had 5 balls of yarn connected at the same time, and my mind could not deal with that all at once. And the yarn management, thinking about what I'm doing. Now I know what I'm doing, and there's only 1 row, about every 5 rows or 7 rows or something, where you see where these pieces, they split up, these slip stitches split up. And what you do for those is it's like a cable. So you have you put a couple of stitches behind, knit 1, and then knit the 2 that were behind or in front. So that's how you create those. And so once I'd figured it out in my head and I got my flow, and then I was watching Amanda and she was saying how she was doing it, and she had all her balls set out around her. And I thought, she's very much like me. So if she can do it, I think I need to do it. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I've never met the lovely lady herself, so I can't say. But I do think that she's like me, and she could be prone to throwing her toys out the pram when things go wrong in knitting. Just like throwing it in the corner and saying, right, that's it, enough. So I thought, right, I need to show a bit of patience and just learn a new technique. I've never carried yarns like that before. So Stephen has got a video apparently showing how to do the weaving Stevens technique. So I am going to try and sort that out. So when I do this section again after the stripes, I'm going to put my big girl pants on, sit in my craft room when there's no one else in the house, set out my balls and just have a go at it. I might even video it for your entertainment. Definitely not as a tutorial, just for your entertainment. And we'll see how patient I can be, or not, as the case may be. So yes, really loving this. It is a bit of a challenge. When you actually, if you've not knit one of these sort of shawls before, I mean, this is one of these simpler ones, but when you see it, well, when I see it, I think, oh dear, and then I go into a bit of panic mode. But then when you actually just do it step by step, it's not difficult. And so now, after doing that section, I'm quite looking forward to doing it again, apart from the cable part, because that was fiddly. I like to do, when I do cables and it's bigger stitches, and I'm somebody who would drop the stitches at the back and just knit 1 and then put them back on. I'm quite fearless in that way. But with these stitches, when I tried to do that, they weren't very stable. And because it's the slip stitches, obviously they're being pulled in a different direction. So I didn't feel safe letting them be free range. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I was using a little cable needle for those. But yeah, I did find that a bit fiddly. It's not every row, it's just when you're connecting them again, so that's fine. So yes, generally really enjoying this, and I'll definitely be doing some more Stephen West, I think, because it is out of my comfort zone. It is different to what I usually do. And I think at this stage, when I've been knitting for so long, I think it's easy to be lazy and not learn new techniques. So I think I do need to push myself just to up my game a little bit. We're going to come to that again later, I think. Yes, we are. I just remembered why I thought about that before. Next project in the unicorn bag of many colours, because it's going to be a project of many colours. So this is my magic yarn ball that I showed you before. and I was just going to use my scraps, all my little scraps, into a granny square. So this is how far I've got so far, and so I'm loving this. Just come into the end of the cream, then I am going to be into multicoloured and blue and things, so that's exciting. It is such, now I've got going, I did follow the tutorial from Bella Coco because that's who I always go to for crochet. I like how she teaches, and she teaches English and US as well, so yeah, really loving how that's coming out, and it's such a non-brainer for me. It's just straight across, do 2 in the corners when you turn the corner. I'm not a crocheter, I am a knitter who crochets very occasionally, but only blankets. So this is my level. Love how that is the West Yorkshire Spinners Silent Night. It's got a bit of sparkle in there, you can see. Love how that came out. And yeah, really looking forward to it. This is my second start. My little friend here has got my first start. So I thought, because I've got that new sock yarn that you might have seen in the video yesterday showing my stash organisation and plans, I wanted to use a little bit of those balls of yarn to start me off, to make so it looks like a flower in the centre before I start on the magic ball. So I started doing that, but I just didn't like how it was looking. So I decided, there you go, you can have your knitting back, even though it's crochet. I decided I would just start with the magic knot ball and just do a plain square in the middle instead. And I think it looks a lot neater and better and less complicated, because that is the part I struggle with. Really looking forward to it. It's a bit addictive. I've had to stop myself, because I would just carry on and on, because you know what it's like when something is just so easy and you're watching your knitting podcast and then it goes on to another knitting podcast and you're just carrying on and on. But yeah, I've got other projects that I want to get finished, so I can't do that because I've had no time for Foxy this time. Foxy is going to be more of a priority next week. She needs to be finished. She was supposed to be a Christmas project, wasn't she? Oh, Foxy Chops. So that is that one. I have cast on a new start. It's a very small start. I realised that I said I was going to do my socks every month. And so I had that plan in December for the dates of how to make sure I get them finished by the end of the month. And then I didn't start them. I was supposed to start them on the 1st, and I had so many other things I was excited about. I just forgot all about casting on socks. So I've revised that date list. So I'll put it up here. And so you can see on one side I've got the 1st, and that's underneath that is for the first sock, and then it goes on to the left hand side, or is it the right hand side for you? I don't know. The other side for the dates for the second sock. So the way I've sorted it out is, obviously I wanted the Christmas ones to be done by Christmas Day, well, Christmas Eve, so I could wear them Christmas Day. Got more days in normal months because we have at least 28 days, so I've worked it on 28 days to have them finished. I should really be starting on the heel now because it's the 8th, but I have a cuff. Sorry, I haven't told you what they are, have I? So these are the Woodland Walk socks. It's a free pattern. And all I've done is the twisted rib, but I've already changed this because it should be 1 by 1 rib. I've done 2 by 2 because that's what I prefer. Now, here is the problem, that I've only just started the pattern of them. Oh yes, I've changed the name for these socks. So I'm calling mine Woodland Walk Looking for Snowdrop Socks. And the reason for this is because Denise from Dear Designs, hello Denise, is doing the Year of the Socks again. And so I wanted to join in with that because I've got 10 socks that I want to do this year. Plus I'll be having Christmas socks again. So that's 11 before I've even thought about other ones. So I thought, well, I might as well join in and do Year of the Socks. So I'm going to follow Denise's prompts. And the one for this month is snowdrops. And so I was looking in my yarns to see what should I do for snowdrops. And I thought, well, I haven't got anything with white on because snowdrops are obviously green with a white flower. So I thought, well, I've got the green. And then I thought, well, I could add some white. But I thought, well, there's that woodland pattern and that would work because they grow in woodlands. I thought I don't really want to add white to it. So I'll just lean. I think it's a very open theme, so I think you can interpret it as you want. So these are my woodland walk looking for snowdrop socks. So yes, all I've done is that. This is Drops Nord, by the way, sock yarn, 4-ply alpaca sock yarn. And so, oh, I've also got, when I was sorting out moving my stash into the drawers for my new organisation, I came across random things, as you do, like pom-pom makers, stitch markers, all sorts I found randomly in the wardrobe. And so, too late, I found my Christmas stocking. I would have used that for my Christmas socks. So I popped it on. Too late, but it might as well have a little airing before next year. These woodland socks, I've changed the rib 2x2, which is fine, but then on the pattern, the first 2 stitches are pearls, and you've got like a row of pearls, and that falls where my 2 knits are, and then it's a knit where my pearls are. And I immediately thought of Kay from the Bakery Bears, and I thought she wouldn't have this. I know for a fact that she likes all her knit stitches to line up and her pearl stitches. So I think I'm going to tweak it. I don't know whether to just move my start marker along, because I don't see how 2 little stitches are going to make a lot of difference, or should I add 2 stitches, because I'm not sure with the pattern on, is it going to make my sock count a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller? It's got eyelets which will help with the stretch, but I'm not sure, because the pattern is for 2.5. I always use 2.2. But then a lot of people always use 2.5, so it might just be that she likes 2.5. So I don't know. I feel tempted to add 2 stitches on so that I have more room, because generally my socks are snug rather than loose. So I think I can get away with being a little bit looser. I can also check them against my existing socks when I'm coming down the leg, so I'll have more of an idea for when I go into the foot. But I think more stitches and having it a little bit looser will be better for how my socks generally fit and how my feet are, to the chance of them being smaller. And because that is recommended 2.5, I think I'll be better off going slightly bigger. Leave your views down below. You'll probably tell me after I've made the change. You'll think, no. So yes, so hopefully you will see a lot more sock next week, because we're going to be getting towards casting on the second sock time, aren't we? But yeah, I'm loving the colour, loving how those look, love the fluffiness of that yarn. So I think they're going to be super cosy. And I've got them in my new little bag that I got for Christmas. So yes, there will be a sock next week. You can hold me to that. Speaking of socks, I was watching Love in Stitches, Natalie, the lovely Natalie, and she was talking about her socks and how often she washes them. Now, I wash mine about every 2 to 3 wears, because I agree with her that you don't need to wash them every time you wear them. It depends on what's happening. If I've been in boots walking around all day, or like a day of work or whatever, then I would put them in the wash because I think they need freshening up. But generally, if I'm just kicking around at home or put them on, go out, come back, and just general wear, I usually let them go for 2, maybe 3 times. And I didn't know if that was bad because I hadn't heard anyone else say that. So yeah, what do you do? Because Natalie says she leaves hers for about 10 wears. So what do you feel about that? I don't know. I mean, I have a shower every day, so I have fresh feet every day. So I don't know. It's personal choice, but it just made me interested. And I think this is a subject we should be talking about because generally in life, you grow up with these cotton socks that you wear, throw in the wash and everything. But obviously there's more to knitted socks than just doing that. So what do you do? Do you wash yours every time just because that's the habit you're in? Or should we be leaving them more so they're not going through that washing process? I mean, a lot of people hand wash. I wash mine in the machine on a wool wash and they all seem to be fine. How do you wash your socks and how many times do you leave them before? I think I might do 2 surveys actually. I've never done a survey on, so I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'll try and do it. So have a look out for these surveys. You need to look on your phone. They'll come up for you if you're subscribed to the channel. But there's 2 things I'm interested in this week that I want to know your views. How many times do you wear your socks before you wash them? Secondly, do you knit with acrylic, natural fibres or both? So I knit with both, but I noticed when I did the video yesterday talking about my yarn, and I've got quite a lot of acrylic coming up that I'm going to be knitting with. And to be perfectly honest, I was a bit nervous about showing that yarn because there is it's not what everyone uses. I think the fashion is for rustic yarn and mohair. There's an awful lot of that in a lot of videos. And that's fine, if that's what the person's choosing to use, and that's fine, that's good. I have no opinion because my opinion doesn't count for anything. In this instant, it's personal opinion, isn't it? But I got so many messages from people saying, oh, I'm glad you include acrylic because I feel left out. And that made me feel so much better for being able to say, like, this is what I'm choosing. And don't feel like I've got to justify myself. I mean, I know the community doesn't do it on purpose. Everyone is the same as me and they're just choosing what's in their price range, what they enjoy knitting with and wearing. And that's what it should be. That's what you should be sharing. And there's going to be different sections of people that use different things. I think I'm very middle of the road. I'm not the high end. I haven't got the bank balance or the lifestyle because it's not the sort of thing I would wear and be happy wearing, £100 jumper, just to do the hoovering and things. Yeah, I really want to know what you use and what you prefer to use. And so I'd really like your honest feedback so I know who I'm talking to. I'm just really interested to know what you like and what you use. And you can use the comments down below to tell me more information about that, what your favourite yarn is and things. But yeah, I just thought it might be fun to try these polls. So I should put a couple of polls up so you can give me your feedback on that. So we just get to know each other a little bit better. And it will teach me how to use the poll section on the YouTube. As I say, I think it's only available on your mobile. So if you're subscribed, you can look at Simply in Stitches and it should come up on your mobile or in just your general feed. I'm not sure. We'll have to do another poll later, I think, saying, what do you watch your videos on? No, we're not going to do that because then people turn around and say, oh, I watch you on my 50-inch screen. No, this face is not meant to be on a 50-inch screen. High definition. On that note, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining me and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.